Hello and welcome to today's video. This video is all about the books that I plan on reading in the month of November. My October wrap-up was kind of lengthy, so I promise I will make this video a bit quicker than that one. I do have quite a few books to get through, so without further ado, let's get into it. The first book that I plan on reading this month is our November Book Club Book of the Month, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book follows a legendary film actress, Evelyn Hugo, as she reflects on her relentless rise to the top. Evelyn is finally ready to tell all about her glamorous life, including the scandals she's lived through. However, she shocks everyone by deciding to tell all to an unknown magazine reporter, Monique Grant. While this is not the book that you'll typically find on my TBR, it has been on my TBR for years since it came out. I know that Ashley's excited to read this book, and Danielle's more or less dreading it. So it's going to be interesting to see the discussion on this book once we get around to talking about it as friends. And I really enjoy when different perspectives are brought to the book conversation. So I'm looking forward to it for that reason, and I am really hoping that I enjoy it. The next chunk of books that I'm going to be talking about are the books that I am currently in the middle of and plan on finishing this month. The first one being The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. Harry August has died before. On the deathbed of his 11th life, a young girl appears with a message. This is the story of Harry before and after this little girl's visit, and what he does with the information she gives him. This is a book that Brandon really liked. He's recently gotten back into reading a little bit more, and he really enjoyed this book, wanted me to read it so that we can talk about it. Of course, I'm going to jump on that. I love talking about books. I love Brandon, so of course I'm going to read a book that he loved. I am currently enjoying it. I am enjoying the non-linear plotline of this and all of the twists and turns, the people, the character, the atmosphere, and it's just so far it's been a really good book, so I'm excited to keep reading this. The next book that I plan on reading is Alchemy and a Cup of Tea by Rebecca Thorne. This is the fourth book in the Tomes and Tea series. Because it is the fourth book and the final book, I don't really want to spoil anything. I will say that it follows Raina and Canthe, two of the most powerful beings or people in their universe from different countries, and their goal to live a quiet life running a tea and bookshop. I have no excuse for not having finished reading this yet, except I'm really enjoying it and don't want the series to end. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll absolutely get to it in the very near future. I'm really enjoying it, so I will absolutely get to it in the very near future. Also, it's gorgeous. I say this every time, but this book is absolutely gorgeous. Like this entire series, it's just so pretty. All of them have this amazing artwork, sprayed edges. I love the series. The next book that I am going to talk about is What Once Was Mine by Liz Braswell. I borrowed this copy from Danielle, and she's not sure where the dust jacket is, so just note that I have the physical book, but I'm going to superimpose the photo here because that's a nicer picture than a black book. In this darkly twisted Rapunzel retelling, Rapunzel's hair kills rather than heals. She's been led to believe that her hair killed her birth parents, so she's been locked up her entire life because of that. However, this book is all about Rapunzel escaping her tower to see the lights and just explore the outside world for the first time. I borrowed this book from Danielle with the express interest of filling in the square poisoned apple from our Bewitched book bingo that we did in October. However, clearly I did not manage to finish it. I have not really enjoyed the book so far. I'm about halfway, but I definitely want to finish it to see if it picks up because Rapunzel is one of my favorite Disney movies. So this retelling of it, I'm really hoping I enjoy. The next book that I plan on finishing is Dime Store Magic by Kelley Armstrong. This is the third book in the Otherworld series. And like I mentioned in October, I'm slowly making my way through this book and all of the other books in this world for the foreseeable future. This one follows Paige Winterbourne as she proves her right to raise the orphan witch Savannah Levine and her rightful place as coven leader. Of course, things don't go easily. A friendly face from the past, a custody battle, outdated witchy beliefs, and a sorcerer who swears he's here to help are all things Paige has to deal with. I've read this before. I reread the series all the time, so I'm excited to get through these. This probably isn't the only one that I'll read this month, but it is the one that I am currently reading. The next couple of books that I'll be talking about are books 9 and 10 of the Torrent Witches Cozy Mystery series by Tess Lake. That is book 9, A Lost Witch, and book 10, Wicked Witch. I'm not going to say a whole lot about these two books specifically because it is the very end of the series, but I will say that I am loving this series so far. It follows the witch Harlow Torrent as she is brought back home to her small seaside town of Harlot Bay. She ends up moving back into Torrent Mansion with her frozen grandmother, her great aunt, her mom, her 2 aunts, and her 2 cousins. All of them are witches. Each book in this series has its own mystery that is full of magic and mayhem. And of course, there's a cute little romance subplot that takes place for Harlow and all of the main Torrent characters, which I think is absolutely adorable. I personally have fallen in love with the overarching plot of this series, and I flew through the first 8 books like incredibly quickly. I wish there was more in the series, but I know I'm going to absolutely love the final 2 books of the series. I technically finished Lost Witch in October, but did want to mention it here because when I filmed my October reading wrap up, I had not gotten to it yet. So while I'm technically done that book already, I did want to mention that I loved it just as much as the other 8. So all I have left is Wicked Witch. And I am so excited to see how the series ends off. I think Tess Lake does an amazing job at leaving a small cliffhanger at the end of each of these books that makes you want to keep reading more. And as I got to listen to them using the Audible Plus catalog, I didn't have to pay for them, which was very nice for my wallet and absolutely phenomenal for my ears because I got to listen to the amazing voice acting of the series and I flew through it. I'm absolutely loving what I have read so far. I will absolutely be picking up more Tess Lake books after I finish these ones, but those are the 2 that I plan on getting to this month. Well, one I've read and one that I will finish this month. Basically, I'm going to finish this series this month because I have enjoyed it so much. The actual final book that I plan on finishing this month that I almost forgot I had briefly started in October was Deal with the Alien Prince by Rachel Rex. I picked up this one specifically to complete the prompt Crystal Ball in October. And if I can finish a book, I'm going to finish a book. My goal is to finish this book, even though I have absolutely no interest in alien books, but I've started it, so I'm going to see it through. This book, from what I've read so far, it's about the human Miranda. It's about the human Miranda as she goes on her first ever mission on Kepler 305. She's a cadet and she's flying with her captain, Ashley, and co-cadet Kaylee. They end up crashing into the holy grounds of the resident aliens, or like the resident creatures on Kepler 305. And it is a romance book between Miranda and the alien prince of these people. This is an entire series. I can't promise you that I will continue on past the first book, but I do absolutely plan on finishing the first book in the series at least. I will give it a shot, but from what I've read so far, I was right, and this is not really my typical read, but I'm partway through it, so I'm going to see it through. The next section of books that I will be talking about are books that I have not started yet, but plan on reading in the month of November. The first one being No Bones About It by Allie Brahm. This is the second book in the Ghost Cupid series. It follows assistant ghost wedding planner Chris as she learns more about the spirit world. I don't want to say too much about it, as I don't want to spoil what happens in the first book. I will say that I really enjoyed the first book, which was Tie Me Not, and look forward to reading more about it and learning more about this series' take on classic Chinese spiritualism. At least I think it's classic Chinese spiritualism. I know that there are Chinese spirits and things in this book, and I find it really interesting to read about that and learn more about their culture. The next series that I want to talk about is actually 4 books that I have in front of me, and that is the first 4 books of the Apothecary Diaries manga by Natsu Hyuuga. I have talked about the series many a time on this channel, so I'm sure you are getting tired of me talking about it, but I absolutely love it. This series follows the apothecary Mao Mao as she's kidnapped and brought to the rear palace, which is where all of the consorts for the emperor live. She does not want her kidnappers to get a lot of money, so she pretends to be dumb and illiterate so that she can live a quiet life. Of course, Mao Mao is inquisitive. She needs to know the answers to any questions that she faces, and because of that, her brains are quickly found out. This story follows her and the hijinks that ensue. I absolutely love this. I love the anime. I've read every light novel book that is out so far, so of course I need to get into the story in the only other format there is, and I have the first 4 manga in front of me to read. These are very quick and easy, so I will absolutely fly through them in November. The next book that I plan on reading in the month of November is The Crash by Freida McFadden. This book I have been telling Danielle to read for months now. She ended up reading it in October for the Bewitched Book Bingo prompt cursed pages. So if you want to hear more about this book, definitely check her out there. I personally want to go into this blind because I do enjoy a Freida McFadden book without knowing anything. I find the twists really enjoyable that way. I really find the twists and turns enjoyable that way. So I plan on doing that in this part. If you want to hear more about what this book entails, I definitely recommend checking out Danielle's October reading wrap-up because she read it at the end of October, so now it is my turn to read it. The second to last book that I plan on talking about is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book in her Caraval series. I don't know how much I'm going to like this. I plan on reading the entire trilogy. It is one of Ashley's favorite trilogies. However, I've been told that this follows my least favorite character from the first book, Caraval. It follows Scarlett's sister, Donatella, or Tella as she likes to be called. I don't want to get too much into this one because it is the second book in a series and the first one has a lot of twists and turns in it, but I will say that the first one, Caraval, is about the competition Caraval, which kind of takes place in a twisted carnival. Scarlett enters Caraval, and the first book is all about her living through it and things not being what she expects, how she expects things to go. People aren't who she thinks they are. The purpose of the game might not be the same. It's just dark, twisted. There's lots of plot points and plot lines and things to trick you and everything. So I'm interested to see if this book is able to trick me more than Carval was, because I definitely saw most of the tricks and turns of Carval coming. I still stand by the viewpoint that the final twist in Carval was kind of cheap, but I'm excited to read more of Stephanie Garber's writing, because I did enjoy the way Carval was written, even if the final plot twist kind of irked me a lot. And finally, the book that I am most excited to get to in November that I did not manage to get into in October, even though I wanted to, is For Whom the Bell Tolls by Jaysea Lynn. Yes, I have read this before. Yes, I know I love this book. Yes, I know it's going to make me ugly cry so many times, like so many times. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I'm going to ugly cry while reading this. Well, it was like 13 or 14 the first time I read this book. So of course I'm going to ugly cry again. However, this is a very beautiful version of this book. It is a collector's edition. I forgot I had ordered it until it came in the mail, and I was so excited. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am so looking forward to reading this absolutely gorgeous copy. This book follows Lily and I will warn you now, this book does have very dark moments. It's a very emotional read. It's the prequel to Jaysea Lynn's Hell's Bells TikTok series, and it follows the main character Lily as she finds out she has cancer. The first book or first chapter or so is about her finding out her diagnosis and like dying. And then the rest of the book is her creating the help desk and becoming friends with the demons and everything that becomes the Hell's Bells series. And it just, if you know the Hell's Bells series, it has so many hidden gems in it that just bring me to tears. So I'm excited to have a book that will make me sob this month. And that's it. Those are the, for me, little amount of books that I plan on reading this month. I know for a normal person, that's probably a lot. I'm already partway through a good chunk of these. A few of them I know I'm going to fly through, so I know this is not all I'm going to read in November, but I do plan on leaving a large chunk of my reading up to my mood, like whatever I feel like grabbing, I'm going to grab. But that is every book that I'm going to talk about this month. I hope that you have fun plans for your reading in November. I look forward to hearing all about it, and I will absolutely catch you in the next one. Bye!